Welcome to the Personal Pension Radio Podcast, where it's all about helping you complete your financial journey to retirement. Discover time-tested strategies and get unconventional insights into wealth building and retirement that actually work. Break away from the herd and go for the retirement you dream of. And now, here's your host, the income engineer, Kraig Strom.
All right, back on Personal Pension Radio. Thank you so much for being here, downloading the podcast and sharing it. I always appreciate that. I really do. I am the income engineer, and if you haven't guessed it, my focus in my practice as a certified financial planning professional is retirement income. Now, I am very broad in my scope, a macroeconomic perspective, if you will, but I really love the conversation around retirement income because I am different. I'm different in that respect because the Wall Street world that trained me in just typical conventional wisdom about retirement planning did not spend much time teaching me about retirement income. I have been doing this for 18 plus years as a financial advisor and as now, for the last, I don't know how many years, a certified financial planning professional. But Wall Street didn't really teach me and prepare me for the retirement income conversation. And my goal is to help you optimize your retirement income. But you have to understand that it doesn't happen standing in line with everybody else in the conventional Wall Street school of thought, which is the size of your 401k or your investment portfolio translates to your retirement income being maximized. That is not correct. Optimized, maximized retirement income only happens when you integrate all of these various financial products. I've talked about this before. Product diversification is the true key, one of them, to maximum retirement income. Investments, life insurance, 401ks, annuities, Roth IRAs, real estate, they're all products. None of those products by themselves will help you optimize your retirement income. You've got to have an integrated approach that crosses over all of those different areas. And the challenge is that if you're working with a classically trained, dedicated Wall Street type financial advisor, they really don't teach the non-Wall Street income planning. They just don't. And I'll talk about that here in a moment. So now I got a comment from someone not long ago that said, "Hey, Kraig, stop repeating yourself in your introductions." I understand. I actually had consistently gone through a fairly regular bit of my introduction because I thought, I have new listeners all the time. I better include that in there. And the comment was, if they want to hear, the past episodes or the past pieces, that let them go back and listen to it. I've already been listening to all of your episodes. I don't need to hear it again. So thank you very much for the feedback. Let's jump into a simple disclosure and on to the show. I am not an attorney. I am not a certified public accountant. I am a certified financial planning professional. But please, no matter how qualified I might sound, please don't act on things that you hear on this show as if you're hearing them for your personal financial situation. And especially, please do not act on things that you hear from financial entertainers on the radio, the podcast, TV. Financial entertainers are people who are unlicensed, unregulated to practice in the financial world. They basically practice under the flag of the First Amendment. Now, I'm a huge First Amendment proponent. Don't get me wrong. It's just I wouldn't want somebody who operates under First Amendment to do my knee surgery, right? I wouldn't trust my daughter's health, for example, to someone on the side of the the freeway off-ramp that says, "Hey, free dental exams," or "I'm going to give you a discount on this procedure for a medical whatever." The whole point is you want somebody that's actually licensed, regulated, trained in that area. Please don't act on things that you hear on this show, but please especially don't go to folks who aren't even actually licensed to practice as financial advisors. Meet with a qualified financial planner. Go through the details. then you got information that you can actually act on. All right, now, as promised, let's jump in. Now, the first segment's Watch Your Step. Last week, I had talked about a podcast that I heard about that I'd been listening to for quite some time. Really thought it was just, it was going in the right direction, but still no discussions, because they were talking about financial independence, and still no discussions about how to deal with the real pitfalls of a typical Wall Street type retirement plan, which is sequence risk and adjusting your allocations and such. No talk about actuarial options available for the general public. And unfortunately, no response to my email asking them about it. No actual response or reply. Now, great for them that they're very busy, but I was hoping that I would get a response back and I'd be able to share that with you. So still hopeful. We'll see. Now, this week I want to jump into something that came up in my world. It was actually a meeting that I had. And this revolves around 401k plans, so retirement plans and the missing advisors. Sounds like a mystery novel, right? It's 401k plans and the missing advisors. So just to set the stage here for you, the 401k has become, since it came out in the 1970s, 1978, it's become the dominant retirement savings vehicle. And there's almost $5 trillion in 401k plans. Remember, that's a whole lot of pallets of money stacked on top of each other. $5 trillion in 401k money. Now, the American Benefits Council study demonstrated this, that with over 650,000 401k type plans in America, covering over 88 million people, the 401k, as I just said, by far the most popular and predominant retirement savings vehicle in the country. All right, so just setting the stage. 401k plans is kind of, if you don't have one, you want one. If you have one, great. And I read this somewhere, right? So I don't remember where this was. Basically saying that the vast majority of 401k plans do not have a financial advisor assigned to the plan. Employees, participants in the 401k, go through a call center if they need help with their 401k. Okay? When you think about this, that's crazy, right? You're not a professional financial advisor, full-time financial advisor. You're not trained as a certified financial planning professional. And yet, the majority of 401k plans basically say, hey, good luck. You are now a professional financial advisor. Why would you need any help from a personal financial advisor? You can just call someone in our call center in Minneapolis, and they'll be able to help you out with arguably the most important financial decisions of your life, your retirement. We've got Susie and Jimmy in the call center, and they're here to help you with your retirement. That's insane to me. It is absolutely insane to me that a 401k plan, that in some cases they are huge plans, have no financial advisors directly associated with the plan. So I've actually met law firms with tens of millions of dollars in their 401k plans, and the attorneys in the firm actually go through a call center. They don't even have somebody that they can call personally. They just have a call center. It's just crazy to me. So now I share this because sure enough, this actually came up where it kind of connected these dots that I had read this, and I met with a new prospective client recently that was referred by their accountant. Now, they had asked their accountant, their CPA, how they could boost up their 401k participation. Now, the participation rate is important with 401ks. It's basically how many people are participating in the 401k plan who are eligible to participate. That's actually kind of a big deal, because if you have a 401k plan that has very low participation, that can be a red flag to government regulators. Government regulators look at these 401k plans and say, hey, why, if we've got 100 people, there's only 20 people participating in this plan? What's going on? What are they not doing there? We should go in and investigate them, right? So that's one of those areas. Participation rate is very important. So they asked their CPA, hey, what's going on? The CPA basically said, I don't know. I'm a CPA. I don't know 401ks. So she referred them to me. So that's how I met these folks. So I met with the CEO and the Director of Human Resources. So the CEO and the Director of Human Resources sat down with me. And my first question is always, does your 401k plan have an advisor? In this case, the answer was yes. So, okay. My first thought was, well, the opportunity for me to be able to, help them with this 401k plan is probably now pretty limited, because they've got an actual advisor associated with the plan. But I'm here because the CPA is a friend and a business associate, and I'm just going to take really good care of these folks. So I just kept asking questions. Now, my next question was, do the employees, right, have access to the financial advisor for their personal financial questions? And that's where the tone changed. And the HR director said, well, not really. Okay, all right, interesting. So I ask another question. Does the advisor talk about fees and the need for efficiency in their 401k plan selections, the employees, individual selections? And that's when it actually was an emphatic no. No, he doesn't. And I said, well, really, no discussion about fees at all? And the HR director said, actually, the last time he came out, he asked that there be no questions about fees during the meeting. Didn't want to talk about it. Didn't want to have it at all. He just wanted to follow his assigned script, and apparently did. He just went through a slideshow, read the slides, and left. And I said, no questions about fees or anything at all? No. That's scary stuff. Let me just do a side note here. If you are a business owner and you have a 401k, if you are an employee in a company that has a 401k, listen carefully, because this is a huge risk to your company. That if you're not carefully disclosing fees and educating the employees to the greatest extent possible, you can be subject to actions by federal regulators like the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor loves to come in and audit 401k plan companies, and their situation gets even worse when you come to find out that they don't even talk about fees in the meetings. That's not a good thing. The employees don't have access to a financial advisor. They get to call a call center. That's not a good thing either, right? So you've got a number of things here that when we talk about fees especially, that's an important area of disclosure and education that can help to mitigate actions by federal regulators. And if you're an employee and you're saying, well, I don't care about that. If the company gets hit by a Department of Labor audit, that's no big deal. Well, stop and think about it. If your company gets hit by a Department of Labor audit, it could cost them tens of thousands of dollars out of the company pocket that they will not have to pay you, right? And if a company gets hit with a big enough fine, how are they going to pay for that fine? Yeah, their first their biggest ticket item in most cases is payroll. So if your employer gets hit with a Department of Labor audit that ends up costing them $100,000, well, how are they going to all of a sudden come up with $100,000? Well, they might have to eliminate a couple of people, right? So I want you to connect the dots. Don't think that just because you're not the boss and you don't own the company that a 401k audit doesn't affect you. It really does. It can absolutely affect you, okay? So this advisor actually had asked that there be no questions about fees during the semi-annual meeting. Crazy, but true. Let me tell you why the discussion about fees is so important. So my answer, by the way, to the human resources director was my very first conversation when I come in and talk to the employees about their 401k. I teach about fees. I teach about the impact of fees. I think it's extremely important to understand the efficiency conversation first. So quick example, say $500 a month for 30 years. $500 a month for 30 years. At 7%, that equals $613,544. $613,000. Good chunk of cash. That's at a 7% return. I'm just giving you a basic example. But 6%. So what if we had a 1% fee every year? 1% fee every year. Instead of getting 6, we get instead of getting 7, we get 6. So listen to this. 7% got us $613,000. 6% gets us $504,000. That's a $108,000 difference. And where did it go? It went to fees. So investing is not free. 401ks are not free. So managing your fees is critical. It's absolutely critical. So what if you could, instead of paying a 1% fee, what if you could pay a 0.7, just 30 basis points, that 0.30, that little difference, right? What if you could just get a little bit back? Well, that could change the picture by $30,000 more in your pocket just by shaving that little tiny bit of fees. It is exponentially important in the long run. So conversations about fees are critically important. So the final straw, right? Here was the final straw, I think, for this particular advisor. And I'm going to be calling the HR director later on today, actually, as I'm recording this, that to just follow up to find out if I can be the new advisor on this 401k plan. The final straw was the advisor does not go to the second location, which is over an hour away. The advisor said it's too far for him. He basically ignores the second location, right? And that just, again, blows my mind. And from a 401k risk perspective, just the risk of an audit from the Department of Labor, oh my gosh, you can't ignore an entire location with dozens and dozens of teammates there, right? So, on the 401k side here, fees are critical. Fees are absolutely critical. It is the dominant retirement vehicle for 88 million Americans. Unfortunately, most plans of significant size, and especially the small ones, have no financial advisor actually associated with the plan. So let me describe what this company, because I do feel very confident. You can all give me your wishful thinking and happy thoughts out there in podcast land that I will become the new advisor for this plan. But let me tell you what it would look like with me. Okay? With me, for sure, they're going to have a conversation about fees. In addition to that, all of the employees will have access to me, a highly experienced, long-standing, certified financial planning professional so they can ask questions that go beyond their 401k. Maybe they need help with mom and long-term care insurance. Maybe they need life insurance help. Maybe they need to get in touch with one of my partners who does mortgage refinances, right? Maybe they need help more than just 401k conversations, okay? The reason for this is that the team, the employees, right? They need help. You need help just as much as the boss who owns the company, right? The boss who owns the company, she has access perhaps to some of the best financial planners that you can get. Well, what does the team have? What do the employees have? They have a call center with their 401k. That doesn't make any sense, right? When you look at the statistics, when you look at all of the studies, okay, employees, members of the team, they consider financial education to be a valuable employee benefit, and they would recommend it to coworkers and friends. And plan sponsors, 401k providers, plan sponsors who agree, they all agree that one-on-one meetings increase employee understanding of the benefits and increase participation. So for me, my offering goes well beyond the 401k. And I share this so that you, if you're a business owner, if you're thinking about adding a 401k, if you already have a 401k, if you're an employee with a company that offers a 401k, I want you to use this as a consideration and maybe share this with members of your team and your HR director, right? Ask for this. Go and ask for it. Financial advisor associated with a plan, in my case, means that all of the employees have access to my team. All of the employees have access to my resources. That if someone needs help with a question about grandma, like I said, and her Medicare benefits, that someone on my team can help them. They need help with a legal question, someone in my resources can help them, right? That they have access to all of the resources that comes with a certified financial planner. Now, that's the show for today. Notice the focus, though. Start with this idea of fee efficiency and service. Fee efficiency is critical. And this idea that if you're out there with a 401k plan and all you have is a call center, I absolutely encourage you to stand up and say, wait a minute. Hey, I would like a financial advisor to talk to. I actually want a real financial advisor to talk to. So if you've got questions about it, please, you can send me an email at Kraig with a K, Kraig, at Kraig Strom, STROM.com. If you have questions about your 401k, if you'd like to actually have your 401k plan audited or reviewed to make sure that it's safe and protected, absolutely send me an email, Kraig at kraigstrom.com, and I'm happy to talk to you about it. Now, next week, I'm actually going to I'm going to move this forward to next week. We're going to go into more detail on actuarial science and non-Wall Street income planning. This is something I covered last week and touched on, and today got all excited about the 401k conversation I had recently, because the idea that this guy wouldn't even go to the other location just blew my mind, and wouldn't take any questions about fees. I just blew my mind. So that's why that is going to be the piece to focus on this week for you, is go and check your fees. If you have a 401k, go double check your fees. Compare your performance to the fees. If you don't know how to do it, email me, Kraig at kraigstrom.com. I will give you some information on how to check your fees and how to compare the various investments that you have in your 401k or in your investment account. I'm happy to help with that. And next week, we're going to dive deeper into actuarial science and non-Wall Street income planning. That's going to be a wrap for today. Short and sweet. I'll be back with a whole lot more stuff next week. Thanks again for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Personal Pension Radio podcast. If you missed anything during the show, that's okay. We took the notes for you. Check the show notes for links, offers, and a full transcript. And don't forget to head over to personalpensionradio.com and download your free retirement income report. While you are there, we would appreciate some iTunes love. Please leave us a fantastic rating on iTunes by going to personalpensionradio.com/iTunes. Thanks again for listening.
Now for the disclosure. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not intended for solicitation, sale or purchase of any security or financial product. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and your tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed here. The term personal pension refers to a marketing name designed to educate future retirees and retirees about the economic principles behind creating their own pension-like income. The term personal pension is not intended to be confused with a defined benefit pension plan offered by an employer or by a government entity.